who has written many books that kind of start with the title, What to Say. And he has a general kind of what to say in your own, network, in your own social life. He has a what to say for different industries. And he has one that says what to say for real estate agents. I was recommended this book by one of our agents while we were going through some basic email strategy for content, and they said that they kind of religiously follow Phil Jones. So I wanted to check it out, and I read the book, and I think it has a lot of really practical takeaways. So what he has basically done is used general psychology and thought about communication strategy and tweaked how we can phrase our introductions to our leads. If you are an agent, how can we change the way we introduce ourselves? How can we change the way we introduce what we do for a living and how we can help? And he calls these the right words. And the book outlines some examples of words that we can add in and kind of swap. And this will help us be more successful in an increasingly competitive market. So in real estate, we all know that it is getting more competitive. It is getting, larger with agents and smaller with inventory. So how do we as agents and industry professionals, how do we kind of stay on the cutting edge of what's happening in our profession, what we know about interactions, sales that will help us really stand out and be successful. So that's basically what his book is about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through my top 7 right words. And we're going to talk just briefly about what Phil Jones suggests, why he has chosen these words, what's the psychology behind it, and what are some examples of how we can really implement this as a real estate agent. After we go through that, I'm going to do an example for scripting. So we're going to talk about how we can really take these words and put them in a phone call to a new lead. How can we kind of change what we have been saying in our introductory calls to make it more successful? So we'll go through some scripting examples, and then we're going to create an email. So email is tough. Data shows us that of the 3 methods of communication, email, text, and call, email is the least successful. It's very hard to get people to open our emails. It's hard to get people to read them, hard to get people to respond. So is there some, magic trick that we can do that is going to bump up those rates? So we'll go through calls, how we call our new leads, some strategies. We will go through an email template example. And just kind of as we're going through these slides, you guys will see how some of these conversation strategies and right words can really be implemented in a conversation, with your leads. All right, so the first one, this is the quote. It says, "I'm not sure if it's for you, but." And this is, the psychology behind this wording is that it takes the pressure off of the lead. Oftentimes when we are working with clients, especially newer clients, we don't want to be pushy. People are so used to solicitations. They're so used to, being pushed into sales that maybe they're not comfortable with. So we want to think about language that is rejection free and kind of pressure free. So what this does is it says, no big deal, but you might be interested. And that automatically makes us as the potential client, it makes us feel more comfortable. And it makes us say, oh, what might I be interested in? So some examples would be, I'm not sure if it's for you, but there's an open house on Saturday and you're welcome to join us. Another example would be, I'm not sure if it's for you, but when the time is right, I'd be delighted to help you get the best price for your home. So this immediately says, no pressure. However, there's something really cool happening and you might not want to miss out. And I'm going to use this in one of our scripting examples later. So I'm going to come back to this one because I think this is one that's really easy to implement in our regular conversations and our regular follow-up with our clients. The next one is, who do you know? Okay, so this one is really for your sphere of influence and your past clients. So this specific strategy works best with someone that you have either already worked with or you already have established a personal relationship. And it can be really difficult. I'm sure that all of our agents who are listening, there was a time when you started your business and you were not sure how to address that conversation with your sphere of influence. How do I kind of say to my old coworkers or, my friends and family, I'm doing real estate now, sell with me, buy with me. So this is going to help have that conversation without pressure. So what this does, the kind of psychology behind this is it shifts the direct ask away from your friend or your past client, and it puts them thinking about someone else. So you're not saying, how can I help you? You're saying, do you know anyone I can help? So you're not always having a conversation about selling. You can still have a meaningful conversation that furthers your relationship and maybe get a little benefit, for your business as well, but you do that without putting any direct pressure on the person. So here are some examples of that. Who do you know that is considering moving to the area instead of, are you thinking about buying, right? Who do you know that's considering moving to the area? And then who do you know that could be interested in a property valuation? Or have you heard anyone talking about real estate lately? I'd love to help. So these are some great examples of kind of how you can word these questions and really ask your friend, hey, who have you heard who needs business? I'm not trying to get business from you, but let's just kind of problem solve together. Yeah, so Frank is asking about suggestions for scripting with someone who's maybe come in through an ad or a social media post. So Frank, I think, from your question, you are wanting to talk about strategy for like internet leads, someone that you maybe don't necessarily have a relationship with, just someone who's coming from an ad. And Frank, there's a couple examples we're going to go through that work, but then also when we get to scripting, when we get to the phone call scripting part, I have something that is exactly for those leads. So when we get to the call scripting, it's really kind of built for internet leads that maybe came in through an ad or a social media post. All right, the third one is open-minded. Are you open-minded? Would you be open-minded to? The psychology behind this one is everyone wants to consider themselves open-minded. And so if we start our suggestion that way, people immediately think to themselves, oh, well, I'm open-minded. I'm definitely going to be open to whatever the next part of this, suggestion is. Would you be open-minded to reducing your asking price? That's a tough one, right? People do not want to change their listing price. And we are seeing that starting to happen more. Nobody's really had to do that for the past couple years. But recently we are seeing people having to change their asking price. And I also wanted to kind of share, just as a little anecdote to this, I saw on a site the other day that someone said updated listing price, which I thought was a really positive spin on that. Instead of saying reduced price, it's an updated price. So that was just something that I thought kind of went with this. But another way to use this open-minded is, are you open-minded to listing your home with me? Are you open-minded to listing your home while the market is strong? And this is just a really great way to ask for someone to work with you or ask for someone to meet you at an open house and really kind of get them thinking, yeah, I'd be down for that. I'm definitely open-minded. And I'm going to use this too. I use this in our email strategy. So look for this whenever we create an email together, I'm going to use this specific strategy. All right, a couple more before we get into scripting and creating emails. Number 4, opening fact question. This is not a direct quote. This is basically a format. And Frank had just asked, what are suggestions for how to approach internet leads? Someone who clicks on an ad or comes through social media. And I'm going to show this in our scripting, but this is a really great formula for how to introduce yourself to people that you don't know, to totally new leads. Opening fact question. It is a polite opening, a mutually agreeable fact, an easy to answer question. Hi, it's Tess calling from Remax at the Lake. You recently showed some interest in 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Tess, I'm going to jump in real quick. I'm not sure if it's just me, but it sounds like we may be having some audio issues. You might want to, yeah, sounds like everybody else is hearing it too. So you might want to maybe try again, check your mic. Great content, by the way. I'll do a quick temperature check while we're waiting for Tess to come back online. How are we doing so far? This is a great session. Oh, hey, Tess, you're back. Awesome.
Very, very easy to implement, but just being more intentional, creating a formula where we can insert our name, insert our company, insert the property that they looked at. To me, that takes a lot of pressure off of scripting, which I know can be something that's really tough. So this is a really good formula as we start scripting. Yes, I apologize that I did not realize my audio had muted for a second. I apologize, everybody. Yeah, we are going to be able to have a recording of this. All right, just want to make sure y'all didn't miss anything. No, I'm here. I just want to make sure you guys didn't miss anything. I apologize. And I'm going to come back to this one. So if this is the one that anyone had any audio issues, I use this in an example shortly. So that's okay if you missed any of what I was saying about number 4. All right, 3 more. How certain are you? This is really useful in negotiations, and it also exposes a false certainty. I really love this one because we often work with people who have a very clear idea. For example, they have a very clear idea of how quickly their home should sell. And this is really, really useful if you are having a conversation with a client like that. A client who, maybe wants to do a FSBO, or maybe is going to list with you, but they have a really clear idea of what it should sell for and how quickly it should sell. This is a great tactic where you can kind of expose in their mind, we're not calling anyone out. We're just getting people to kind of change their own thinking. And this gets people to think to themselves, well, how certain am I that this is how fast the market is moving? How certain am I that this is really, a realistic price for my neighborhood? So some examples of this would be, how certain are you that they have the experience to get the best outcome? I love this one. In a scripting course, we have talk about what to say if you are working with a lead, you're talking to a lead and the lead says, hey, my mom's coworker's daughter is a real estate agent and I'm probably going to have to work with them. Or I have a friend that's just getting into real estate, so I told them whenever they get ready, I'll use them. That's really tough to respond to. And one of the things that we want to avoid when we are responding to that, one of the things we want to avoid is, okay, let me know if anything changes. That's a very nice response, but we are not going to hear from them again. So we really want to have some specific talking points around that type of objection. And this is a great example. How certain are you that they have the experience to get the best outcome for you? And that person's going to think, well, maybe I know them, or maybe, I have a friend who knows them, but is this really the person that I want working with me? Or if you have FSBO, right? We have a lot of people who are trying to list their homes by themselves, and agents have a tough time convincing those people that it really would be in their benefit to work with an agent. So here's another example. How certain are you that you will get a high quantity of interest without progressive online marketing? The reason that we do this, the reason we are successful is because we have a proven track record. So you are putting a bit of doubt in their minds and then kind of assuring them that you are someone who can help. So, how certain are you? I think this is a really great strategy for objection handling. People who want to list themselves, people who know someone who might be their agent, people who aren't quite ready due to mortgage rates. This is a really great way to kind of interject and put some doubt in their mind about their hesitation. You have three options. I'm going to use this one in our email because I love lists. And you have three options opens up a chance for us to create a list. I want y'all to think about whenever you are emailing your clients, do you have an opportunity to create a list? The reason that this strategy is so successful is because our eye is drawn to the list and our brain automatically says, this is important. Even if I very well with a list. So you have three options. Here's the psychology behind it. So we're talking about having a list and using this suggestion from Phil Jones about having three options. The psychology behind this is it gives people choices, which we love. It prevents people from feeling manipulated. It's like, you don't have to do this one thing. There's a few things you can do, and it's your choice. So we feel in control, even though we're kind of being led to a specific option. We still feel like, in the end, we're the one making the choice. Can everyone still hear me okay? I just got a couple messages that the audio had kind of tripped a little bit. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay.
I can hear you, Tess.
Okay. Frank, it looks like Frank might be having a little bit of audio issues. One moment. Okay. This audio might be better. Hopefully, Frank, Frank and Dixie, you guys will get a little better audio here. I just kind of changed my position. So I think that might be better. And this one right here, you have three options. This is a strategy that I am going to use when we do an email template in just a few minutes. The last one is, I bet you're a bit like me. And this is another one that is really powerful with strangers versus someone that you know. So this is one that's going to be really good for, again, like our internet leads, our company generated leads. We use this because it is getting us ready to have our lead believe the next part of the sentence. So basically what we're saying is, I bet you're a bit like me. You're really busy and you'd love someone to help. So by saying, I bet you're a bit like me, the second half of our sentence is something that we want them to think is true, to agree with us on. That's kind of the psychology behind this is we want someone to agree with what we're going to say. So we start it with, I bet you're a bit like me. And then we will have kind of the second part of our suggestion. So I bet you're a bit like me. When I'm selling something, I want to get the best possible price with the least amount of headaches. I wanted professionals to take care of things for me. So this is another one that's really, I think, useful, especially for people that, not your sphere. So this would be people who are coming from an open house, people that are coming from a referral, internet leads. This is the group. Those are the groups that this type of strategy is going to work the best on. All right. So we've gone through the kind of 7 top strategies and why we think they work, right? What is the psychology behind why this wording is going to help us grow our business, increase our sales? The last 2 things that we're going to do is we're going to kind of use these examples and implement them into real scenarios and conversations. So first, we're going to talk about scripting. Scripting, this is going to focus mainly on new leads. So if you're going to call someone that you don't have any prior relationship with, maybe it's someone who came in through an ad, someone who was assigned to you from your company, a referral, someone from an open house. How do we call them and kind of get ourselves started on the right footing? What I've done is I've shown you just kind of an intro, a basic intro for calling new leads. So a basic script would go something like greet and introduce yourself, ask some LP Mama questions, right? And we use LP Mama just to help us remember location, price, what they're interested in. So we're introducing ourselves. We are asking questions about their readiness, about their property interests, and then we're trying to set an appointment. Those are the basic three steps of a call. How can we use what we've learned from Phil Jones to make this more successful? So instead of saying, "Hi, Kelly, this is Tess. Thanks for signing up on RE/MAX on the Lake," we can use open fact question. So we're going to use our formula and we're going to make this introduction just a little bit more impactful. So we're going to say, "Hi, it's Tess calling from RE/MAX at the Lake. You recently showed some interest in 1042 Main Street. Is this the only property you're interested in?" One thing that I think is very smart about this is it asks a easy question, but it's a specific question. And it gets the conversation rolling right off the bat. I think it's very smart to ask a question in your introduction because it's going to prompt somebody to respond and really get the ball rolling. And then step 2, asking our general questions. Where are you looking to buy? What's your price range? And then when we get to the appointment, here's another tip from this book. Here's another really important strategy. How do we get that appointment? As you guys know, appointment setting is difficult. You really have to build a rapport, which we're going to do through these questions. We're going to do this through our introduction. Once we build a rapport, it's important to get to that appointment. Establishing a next meeting and that really kind of formative meeting face-to-face with our client, if possible, that's a big part of conversion. So we want to get to this fairly quickly. Here's how we can use one of our strategies to get us there. We're going to say, "I'm not sure if it's for you, but there's an open house on Saturday and you're welcome to join us." After you have asked some questions about price, about location, about timeline, then you will be able to get an idea of what they're looking for and kind of set that next meeting. And so here's one of our Phil Jones strategies at work. "I'm not sure if it's for you." That's that right word, right? That's that strategy that is going to make people think, well, maybe it is for me, So "I'm not sure if it's for you, but there's an open house on Saturday. You're welcome to join us." All right. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to use some of these strategies and we're going to build a really good email. We've talked a little bit about general conversations, the psychology behind this phrasing. We've looked at how this can change some of our scripting. And now we're going to look at how it can kind of up our email game. And I'm going to go into KV Core. So we're going to go into the platform and we're going to create an email template. And I'm going to use some of these strategies that we've talked about to create an email that is more likely to be opened, more likely to be responded to. All right, so I'm going to hop into KV Core. One sec.
I feel like I should play some background music while you're changing up. Just make sure
I
you
know.
change your screen because we're still on your slide deck.
Yes, I'm changing my screen right now for you.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. Hopefully you guys can see we're inside our KV Core CRM, and we're going to go to marketing. I'm going to go to marketing. I'm going to go to my smart campaigns, and I'm going to go to templates. Once I am inside my templates, we're going to create an email template. So you can see your template options. I'm going to go over to the right. You see a green button that says add template, and we're going to add an email template. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a template name. And for this example, I'm going to do a follow-up for a seller lead. I think this is a pretty common scenario that you guys are going to have is you have a seller lead come in and you're trying to get some information, establish a relationship. So this is going to be like early follow-up for seller lead. And we want to be really intentional about how we name our templates, because that way later when you are trying to kind of go through your list and quickly decide which one to use, it'll just be, it will be easier for you to discern what's the right template for this exact scenario. All right, now subject line.
Can I just jump in real quick for you?
I'm sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt you though. A little pro tip here. There are about a gajillion templates already in KV Core. And so just a little pro tip when you're making your template, obviously what Tess said was spot on to make sure you really say what it is. But also I always start off all my template names with my initials, because then you can pull up only ones that you've made and not the ones that the system has made. And so you'll be able to find them, because if you might have forgotten what you named this, you might not be able to ever find it again. So I would always put your initials at the beginning, and that's just my little tip for you. And I'm going to shut up again.
No, that is a great tip. Yeah. So just in case you have other, so I'll do like TB. That's a great tip. Thank you, Heather. Yeah. Just in case you have tons of, options in that list, that does definitely help you kind of narrow down the ones that you've created. All right. So now we'll do subject line. For our subject line, this is our first impression in our email. How do we create a stand out and convey some type of value to our lead? As our leads are opening up their inbox and they see 100 emails and they're quickly going through the list and deciding what to open, what to delete, we want our email to stand out as something that is worth their time. And I'm going to use one of Phil Jones' strategies to create a good subject line. So this is a seller lead. I'm going to say the market is strong. And I'm basically just rewording one of his strategies. So I'm just taking the sentence and kind of breaking it up. So I'm saying the market is strong. How open-minded are you to listing your home? So I basically just reversed the end of the sentence so that it makes a catchier subject line. So the market's strong. How open are you to listing your property? Now we want to think about how we're going to compose our email using strategies that will catch their attention that will draw their eye, that will make them feel open and motivated to responding. So I'm going to use a couple of Phil Jones. And as you guys see me type this, kind of look for any of the strategies that I've already outlined, because I'm going to be using those kind of explicitly in the email. So we're going to say, hello. This is, and then we can insert our name. So I'm just going to do, this is Tess calling from, and then we'll do insert agency. So for this example, I could do, Remax. I always use Remax at the Lake as my example, because I just love to, buy a home on the water. And then we'll say, I understand you are thinking of selling your home and are interested in how we may be able to help. All right, you guys, I just used our opening fact question. Here's the question. What is it that prompted you to contact us specifically? Here is opening fact question. Now I'm going to say, so are you ready to move into something new? Have a lot of memories here, made some good improvements, have a certain amount of money you need to make on the sale to make it worthwhile and find a great new home. This is another thing right from Phil Jones. So I'm basically kind of listing out what their hesitations might be, right? I'm acknowledging that there are some hesitations, there's some sentimentality, there's some need that is, preventing them from being quite ready to sell. And now I'm going to get to my list. Here is my 3 options. As I see it, you have 3 options. 1, first, you could list with a flat fee listing service. 2, you could not sell at all. 3, you could list with me and have me professionally present your home, garner interest through marketing, and put at the best advantage to get top dollar. All right, clearly we see this list and we know which one seems most appealing to us, right? You have 3 options, 1, 2, 3. Someone's going to open this email, they're going to see this list and they're going to look at it and they're going to know what sounds appealing. And we can say of these 3 options, what's going to be easier for you? This is another strategy from Phil Jones, right? You give your 3 options and then you say, what do you think looks best? What's easier for you? I'd love to help you get the most for your property and find your next home. My contact information is below. I look forward to working with you. This is, again, just a general principle in how we frame our questions is assuming success. We don't want to end with doubt. We want to end with, can't wait to hear from you. Really looking forward to working with you. We are going to move forward and I'm excited about that. And then lastly, you want to include your signature. So we're going to toggle that on to include our signature. Hopefully your signature has picture, contact information, maybe a link back to your site, because when we say, please contact me, we want our contact information, to be very obvious. So this is a great example of how we can use these tactics in an email. We are introducing ourselves using opening fact question. we are giving them a list that has 3 options, and we are using that kind of positive mentality, assuming that we're going to hear from them. So once we create this template, we'll hit add template at the bottom, and then it will be available to you guys. And you can use this for buyer leads. You can use this as you start creating text templates. There's a lot of strategies here that you can kind of use in multiple scenarios. Just wanted to make sure I went through kind of the top ones with you guys, went through how you can use it with scripting out calls, and also kind of specifically in KV Core, how can we help, make our follow-up, more successful with these tools. But I really hope that was helpful for you guys. I will give it to Heather to end. That's all my content for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tess. That was so awesome.
Good, I'm so glad.
I'm glad that we, despite the audio issues we were able to get through, and everybody got to hear that, because I myself learned a bunch of stuff today. So I thought that was really great. And
Awesome.
I really
Thank you so
appreciate
much. Yeah, sorry about the audio
Yeah.
issues. I hope it got better towards the end.
Totally fine. I'm glad we got through it. Does anybody have any questions? How can we get the recording? By email? No. At the very top, and I'll put this in again real fast. This is our YouTube playlist for our success meetups, and probably by the end of the week it will be up there and you can review it. All of our success meetups are posted to our YouTube channel, and you can review all of them there. You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions for Tess about like what we talked about today, or any questions KV Core related at all that you want to go over? Anything at all? I know you've got something. Nobody? Happy to answer anything, even if it's not related to the topic at hand, as long as it's semi KV Core related.
Oh yeah, Teresa just put in the name of the book. So Teresa, the author is Phil Jones, and the name of the book is What to Say for Real Estate Agents. So I can type that into. So it's Phil Jones, What to Say for Real Estate Agents.
Yeah, I thought we could probably find it on Amazon. I found one that's What to Say, but not the real estate agent.
Yeah, so he has a general one that says what to say, and then he has one that specifically says, I have the link for it too. I can
I was trying to find a link straight to it. Exactly what to say for real estate agents. That is
oh, exactly. Sorry, I'm missing that word. Exactly.
Yeah. Here, I'll put this out here for you guys. This is a link right to it. We should get like a some kind of Amazon credit for promoting it. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm gonna close it down, and again, join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for these. We hope to see you guys for great content and discussion afterwards. And I really want to thank Tess for coming on and doing this. Casey wants to know when you will receive the recording. You're not going to receive the recording, so I just put the link in there to our playlist. It should be up by the end of the week. I'll put it here again. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad that everybody got to come, and we will see you guys hopefully tomorrow if you come to the next one. Thanks, Tess. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.